Hey, okay, guys. This is a video talking about dog training. And I was just obviously this is Cambodia. So I'm going to do here. I'm going to start a series, and this is the first video about it. Just like I did with languages originally back, however many years that was. And I started going through who is who is good and who is not good in foreign language learning, and the people who were calling themselves linguists. So now um, on YouTube, which I'll be dealing with mainly YouTube people because there's millions of them really that think that they're dog trainers, and I'm not going to focus on a lot of them that are not worth paying attention to because there's just too many of those. I'm going to focus on people that I think are good and some extraordinary and some that really aren't too much on YouTube because they're they're busy doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm also going to talk about because the people who are known on YouTube, there's of course the pet dog trainers, which I'm going to cover that a little bit here. And then there are guys who train uh, as a living, and there are people who train other people. Now, a lot of people want to think that they do that, but I'm going to also concentrate on the people who won sports, especially things like protection or AKC, like utility. And I'll talk about people who won in the past and those. Yeah, there's more. Now there's agility, there's rally obedience. Rally obedience is extremely easy. Like that is very easy. There's the IGP, what it's called now, the BH, which you have to get before you can go into the IGP 1, 2, or 3 title things, which is used to be Schutzhund 1, 2, and 3, or Eins, zwei, drei. Most people are still using German and all those. Anyway, so IGP used to be called IPO, and before that it was called Schutzhund. But anyway, innovators in dog training have come from uh, the competitions. It's just like everything else. People become better, like physical training became better with athletes in different sports, and specifically for that sport. And there's a lot of parallels here, and that's what I'm going uniquely qualified to do is make parallels with fighting because I was. For those of you who are watching this coming from dog stuff and don't know about anything else, I was a professional fighter, 75 fights on 3 continents, and I fought in a myriad kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, boxing, shoot boxing, all over the world, obviously, and did it for a very long period of time. And I know how to train, and I did it, and I fought top 10 guys. I was number one rated in the world at one point, and um, so I know what high level is. And the pet dog trainers, to equate them to fighting or to martial arts, which I hate that term, they're like the kids taekwondo class. They're doing something, but they do a lot of things wrong. Like a lot of things they do wouldn't pass in competition. The dogs aren't trained well enough. A lot of people, well, I don't need my dog to do this. Why? Why? There's a lot of things. And plus, they limit themselves. There's fad things. Now, that I will talk about a little bit here. There are many different ways to train dogs, and they work. And specifically, why? Because with dog, you're talking about genetics. 90% of the dog training is genetically based to begin with. For example, you cannot make a basset hound a sled dog. I don't care what the hell you try to do or who you think you are. You're not going to make a basset hound sled dog. You're not going to make a chihuahua a pointer. You won't make him a bird dog. You won't make that chihuahua a bird dog. It's not in their genetic makeup. They were bred for certain genetic traits and those appear. Now, for obedience, there's a bigger range of dogs that you can train, and that's the trainer. Yeah, of course, when you do other things, it's bringing it out of the animal, and that takes skill and art. That's where the art is. And there's many different methods. And let me make the parallel here to fighting. There are a lot of different ways as a professional fighter to win. There's the Mike Tyson forward aggression, moving hard target, uh, very crafted, very skilled trainer who built him, Customato. That's one type of guy who won the heavyweight. Now, a different, total different type of style was Muhammad Ali. You know, movement, quick, defensive, counterattacker. smart psychologically. Now, those two styles are antithetical to each other. It's just like you have people who train with, and I'll talk about this when I get into, like they train with certain dogs, like with herding dogs and sporting dogs or working dogs. You can train a lot with food drive and also toy drive, which is part of chase drive, which is a little bit part of prey drive. So all those things are built on that. Now, there are dogs that doesn't work for whatsoever. So you have to use negative reinforcement, which a lot of people don't understand. I have not finished my operant conditioning talk, but I will. Many people are confused. They don't understand what positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment is. They don't understand extinction. They don't know what premac is. They don't know what flooding is. There's a lot of things there. And as I pointed out before, one of my early things on, I have that background at a university level, not some guy just read some stuff. I had classes in that as part of my BS in psychology. Went to a heavy behavioral school and I trained rats to do complex things. So I know how, all of that stuff. I know how to do it. So the point is here, there are different styles of dog training and you fit it in with the type of dog you're training. If you look at bird dog trainers or hound dogs, especially nose scent, not sight, but no, like just to use bloodhounds, for example, or coon hounds, that's a different type of training. Same thing with sled dogs. That is a different, they're in a, I'm not going to go into specifics, but there are certain methods that work with those type of dogs and they're different from each other. And the same thing goes with when you're working protection dogs or military war dogs. It's a different type. You're looking for a different temperament, disposition, and you're working different drives that they have, and you can train them differently because of those drives. So there's a lot of confusion out there. And uh, pet guys are the ones who ruin it for everyone because they don't know this, because they haven't worked with enough dogs and they haven't been in competition, so they don't know how, or they haven't trained a dog for an actual functional usage that's high stress. Under a high stress thing like a police dog, for example, war dogs, even more, sentry dog, bomb dog, narcotics dog, nose work, that's the nose work stuff. It's called nose work these days. It's very different than doing a Petsmart. I just use it. I use that because a guy that I really like, Dave Croyer, really hates those. Really hates them, and I understand why. It's the same that I hate the Taekwondo and in places all over that teach kids class, lying to them. So I just want to let you know that stay tuned because you're gonna get some really hard hitting, insightful, in depth thing talking about different famous trainers. Some of the guys that I'm going to cover, I'll cover Flinks, who was well known. I'll go back and I'm going to cover Kohler and Strickland again. I will cover Michael Ellis, who everybody who knows something knows. Ivan Balabanov, I think he's Bulgarian originally, influenced people, and then Dave Croyer. And hopefully, I'll juxtapose and compare some of those top people, and also the evolution of how things. Like I said, a lot of things that people are doing now, they're doing it stylistically, especially in protection sports, like the heeling method, the way they want the dog to heel with the head up and prancing. That was taken from horse trainers. They got influenced by horse trainers, and it's very focused heeling. It takes a long time to train, as opposed to in the old days, getting a really good heel 3 weeks with Kohler, and you know, and solid, and it held stable. They call it proofing now. We called it stable. It was stable back in the old days, and I still use those terms. And I also will use more precise terms than other people because as a linguist and as a behavioral modification background guy, I know what is more clear in English. That is, what is more precise, le mot juste, to use the French, to the exact word and semantics matter. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. I just want to let you stay tuned because just like I went into the shook up people in the foreign language learning crowd who thought they were linguists, I'm going to shake up a little bit of the dog trainers who think that they're dog trainers but really aren't, because they haven't done anything. And I'm going to talk about the guys who are great, and then I can't give out names of certain military trainers because they don't want it. But there are some people, of course, that are not known that are doing incredible work too. Um, so stay tuned. And this is Christophe Clugston coming to you about dog training. Okay. Yeah, it might be a little different from what I've been doing as far as languages. Just to answer a question, people say, "Hey, you do language stuff." I got so much material that I've given you free about languages. So go to language-busters.com. Get my materials on how to learn languages. They're the most thorough, in-depth, get results techniques that there are. And then, of course, with fighting.com, self-defense. Things are changing there, going to be changing there. So anyway, just want to let you know that, okay? So like, share, tell your dog friends. And even I've trained cats too in the past, but there's just more interest in training dogs. Okay. So anyway, I'll talk to you later here from Southeast Asia. Take care. I know it's not as warm where you're at in North America or Northern or Europe, where I'm at here. Okay. So see you guys soon, hopefully, right? If I can turn this thing off because it's difficult to get rid of here.